Let's begin, shall we? Hello, and welcome to the Equality Toledo Multifaith Pride event and to First Unitarian Church of Toledo. I'm T.K. Barger, Senior Minister to the Toledo Unitarians. We are a welcoming congregation. The Unitarian Universalist Association designation for churches that have done concentrated, grounding community work to welcome and celebrate the presence and participation of people who are LGBTQIAA+. Our requirement for people to be married in this church is that they be a couple who are in love, of legal age, and want to be married. Sex and gender aren't factors. Unitarian Universalist clergy and other UU leaders are out as LGBTQIAA+ people, helping to build beloved community. We invite you, if you're curious, to check out a service here. For the past year and some, our Sunday services have live streamed on our Toledo Unitarians YouTube channel. Last Sunday, Lexi Heyman Staples, the executive director of Toledo Pride, who has been in our congregation since she was age 2, preached for our Pride service that was held in this yard. So you might search for that one. Our next outdoor service will be Sunday, September 5th, Labor Day weekend at 11 a.m. The Equality Toledo Multifaith Pride event has been held for several years inside or on the grounds of several churches during Pride Week. We're proud to join that list. During this welcome, I want to thank Pastor Martin Billmeyer, Equality Toledo's Faith Leaders Chair, for his ongoing efforts to organize the annual Pride event, and the committee members who remobilize every year. Thanks also to City Council member Nick Comives, Sheena Barnes, who is here as Equality Toledo's Executive Director, Billy Mann, who is Equality Toledo's Board Chair, participant activist Pat Groves, and Reverend Ed Heilman of Park Church UCC, and Reverend David Montgomery of First Presbyterian Church in Bowling Green, as well as our 11 representatives of multi-faith traditions who will take part in the ritual of unity. And I want to thank our technical crew, very big thanks, for volunteering to live stream the event. Let me say a word about masks. The Toledo Unitarians have chosen to follow the guidance of Toledo Public Schools, which essentially requires a mask for everybody, all day, everywhere. We ask that you wear a mask to protect yourselves, those of us who are immunocompromised, and yes, those who have not yet decided to seek vaccinations. And I hope all who are eligible for vaccinations will get them soon if they haven't already received them. Some speakers might remove their masks, and that's understandable for this presentation. And one other thing you might want to know, bathrooms are through these doors and down the hall on the left. If you're feeling the call of nature, please use the restroom that feels natural for you. And again, everyone is welcome here, really. Let's begin with a song led by First Unitarian's music director, Mickey Imch. It's Holly Nears singing For Our Lives.
We invite you guys. We have all of the lyrics in these. If you'd like to sing along for any of the music today, please join us. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing
singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Now we invite Nick.
Good evening. Why are we here? As people of faith, we gather to celebrate Toledo Pride 2021 and to honor our LGBTQIAA community. Our goals are extravagant welcome, advocacy, education of ourselves and others, and transformation of lives. We are here to awaken from the illusion of separateness and assert our blessed relatedness. As people of faith, we believe our world is a reflection of divine love, and we celebrate the diversity of this sacred creation. Together, we celebrate the diversity of this proud community and their affirming allies.
Pat Groves.
What do we believe? We believe that religion and spirituality should open our hearts, not close our minds. We believe in the possibility of a spiritual awakening that initiates the choice to let go of the fears that corrode, divide, degrade, and diminish our capacity for joy. There are many faith traditions and spiritual beliefs, but one concept is self-evident. We must always treat each other as we would like to be treated ourselves.
Billy Mann.
Good evening. Where have we failed? Sometimes religious people and faith communities have not welcomed the stranger, the despised minority, or the outcast. We have not always opened our hearts, minds, and homes to those seeking physical or spiritual refuge. Too often we have not treated people with intentional, loving kindness, especially when it comes to sexual orientation and gender identity and expression. When we speak or act, it will be to make things better, not to judge or punish.
And let's observe one full minute of silence in remembrance of those who have died because of violence against LGBTQIA+ people. those who have died of AIDS, and those in danger now, especially in the transgender community. Now, Martin Billmeyer.
So before I do my part, I need to talk to the live stream people. Because I don't want you to think that that is the Unitarian technology at work. It is not. We had a connectivity issue, so we are using my cell phone for live right now. But what we are going to do is the folks here at First Unitarian are recording this service, and we are going to post that on the Facebook page for Equality Toledo later. But you can have the live experience by staying with my cell phone right now. All right? What does our faith compel us to do? As people of faith, we are called to action based on love. We practice commitment, dedication, and trust. We do not wait for divine intervention. We are divine intervention as we actively collaborate to bring positive change for all. As Desmond Tutu said, without God, you can't. Without you, God won't. We promise to work together for justice now.
And if you have an insert with some more lyrics, I invite you to listen once and join along in this affirmation of a musical reflection. As we repeat these affirmations of dignity and respect, we commit to speaking kindness and truth to ourselves and to our family, seeing the light of life in each other and creating healing through love. And volume. We're good? We're going to try a different thing. There you go. We're still in reflective space? Yeah? Okay. Cool. Yeah. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Join us. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Once more. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
let's hear from Sheena Barnes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sheena Barnes, and I am the Executive Director of Equality Toledo. My pronouns are she, her, they, them. I'm a speed talker, so I'll try to talk very slow. Good. So I was asked to speak about interdependence, and I will be quite honest, I really haven't heard that term before. But I knew it was important to our community somehow, some way, because if not, Martin wouldn't have asked me to speak about it. So I did research, and I really wanted to do justice to that word, but I realized after doing research how important it is in our community and how much needed we need to do that work of interdependence. So first I began like anybody else with Google, and I looked up for the definition, and pretty much what it's saying is we are depending on some type of other living energy, whether that's human related or animal or business, some type of energy. And I thought, well, how can I tell people what that means? The Lion King, Hakuna Matata, the circle of life is pretty much what it is. But I wanted to be really deep with you today, so I did a little bit more searching. And after a while, I found positive examples like the sun giving to living organisms the energy to grow. As we all know, photosynthesis, we learned that in biology class, or no, lab class. And also negative examples, like hate growing from miscommunication, misinformation, and fear. But tonight I want to kind of talk about the spectrum of how can we move from a negative interdependent relationship to a positive one. And so to do that, we have to do steps. And like anything we're trying to build muscle and strength to, we have to work out. And with working out, you have to start practicing how to lift weights, which I do not do, but I know it works. So first we have to start acknowledging. And what that means is I acknowledge that there's a thing of energy that I must value in someone else or something to be valuable. That means if I don't value at an equal process, then I can't fight for you equally like I would want somebody to fight for me. And pretty much it says no LGBT liberation without gender liberation. But also we can't have that if we're not talking. So if we're not saying a cause, how can we do a cause? So acknowledging that a conversation needs to be had, that acknowledging may be uncomfortable, but to grow the interdependence energy and relationships we need in our community, we must do the work. So the second thing is accepting. This is kind of like legs day. This is where people really don't want to do. But also we must be careful how we accept. Because it's not saying I accept your difference, because when we do that, we're still taking authority and power saying that I welcome you because I have power to welcome you. So we want to stay away from accepting, but accepting that change need to be made. And also I need to be that change. And accepting that it won't happen overnight. Once again, I've been trying to work out for 13 years. It has not worked overnight. Trust me, Netflix and donuts does not help. But then we must apply. This is where you get discipline. You go to the gym 3 times a week. You do the work. You show up. What do apply mean when we're talking about an interdependence relationship? Showing up and sitting back. It's simply saying, I know you need me there, and I value your needing of me, but I do not want to take up your space. It's listening, processing, and repeating. I need to understand for myself what you need of me. So I have to listen. I have to process that. I have to repeat it again because once again, it doesn't happen overnight. But my favorite part of applying is simply the golden rule. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So the fourth one is kind of you think it's easy, which is assume. It can be tricky, Because if someone's assuming that I want the can on the bottom shelf and I bend down and go, ouch, they believe that I'm old, which is true. But maybe I go, ouch, because I can't afford that can. But just by looking and assuming, you will help with the wrong thing. So we must not assume what that other person's value is based on what we see, based on what we know of the community. We must assume I need to be available for whatever they need me to be. So pretty much, person A, basic rights, does not depend on person B acknowledging their basic rights. Person A, basic right, depends on person B valuing their basic rights and them as a human being. Period. That's it. Simple, right? So that's the Netflix and chill part of the workout day. So once you have all these steps in order and you are utilizing them and going to the gym and working your spirit, working your heart, working your muscles to build a true interdependent relationship, you will see that it's more work than you think. Because we can't practice interdependence, valuing each other, respecting each other, once again, only when we choose to be convenient about it. It's those tough times where we don't understand, where we may be misinformed, that we have to step up and acknowledge that we're misinformed. We have to also accept that we are misinformed. And we have to apply that new information to not assume that we are valuing that human being based on what they're telling us. If we can do this, what we are working to each day, I see the beauty in it, but we have to make sure that we give those tools to our future. We have to make sure that we are uncomfortable being comfortable with learning every day. And interdependence, after I Googled all this, thank you, Martin, I literally felt more better as a human being that I need more work to be done in myself and in my mission to make sure that everyone has equality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sheena Barnes, for such good words. And yes, we are interdependent. And thank you for being part of that. Now we will have our ritual of unity. And this will be a ritual with 11 people ringing a bell. I will begin, and as each person, it's their time, they will come up from the congregation to ring the bell and form a line. We people of faith join together today as members and allies of the LGBTQIA+ community. We gather to celebrate our diversity and proclaim our unity. Together, we acknowledge our interdependence and position ourselves in solidarity with the rainbow spectrum.
If I am I, because I am I, and you are you, because you are you, then I am I, and you are you. But if I am I, because you are you, and you are you, because I am I, then I am not I, and you are not you. Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Kotz.
Ego's trick is to make us lose sight of our interdependence. That kind of ego thought gives us a perfect justification to look out only for ourselves. But that is far from the truth. In reality, we all depend on each other, and we have to help each other. Gellup Rinpoche.
Community cannot for long feed on itself. It can only flourish with the coming of others from beyond, their unknown and undiscovered brothers, and I'm adding sisters. This is a quote from Howard Thurman, The Quaker Tradition.
Before I speak, I would like to say thank you to these wonderful sign language interpreters. They are definitely an addition to our whole group. Thank you so very, very much. The task that remains is to cope with our interdependence, to see ourselves reflected in every other human being, and to respect and honor our differences. Melba Patillo Beals.
The fundamental law of human beings is interdependence. A person is a person through other persons. Desmond Tutu.
Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Because everything is interdependent, there are no simple single causes and effects. Every action creates not just an equal and opposite reaction, but a web of reverberating consequences. Starhawk.
The whole idea of compassion is based on a keen awareness of the interdependence of all these living beings, which are all part of one another and all involved in one another. Thomas Merton.
There has never been a time on earth like we see today. What we need are more ways to experience our interconnectedness. It is a precursor to deep love. So, in this quickening light, with the dawn of each new day, let us look for love. Let us no longer struggle. Let us ever become who we most want to be. As we begin to be who we truly are, the world will be a better place. John Denver.
We may know who we are, or we may not. We may be Muslims, Jews, Christians, or Buddhists, but until our hearts become the mold for every heart, we will see only our differences. Rumi.
Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Helen Keller.
David Montgomery will lead the People of Faith pledge.
If you are comfortable, please stand with me as we again make a pledge. And this is not only a pledge to ourselves, but it's to this beautiful community in which we are living. And together we pledge. I pledge to show my love and support for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people through my actions. Where there is oppression, let me bring compassion and solidarity. Where there is discrimination, let me bring dignity and respect. Where there is violence, let me bring friendship and love. Where there is ridicule, let me bring pride and celebration. I remember those who have died, and I lift up those who have survived. Today, I pledge to love and act in sincere conviction, doing my part in creating full equality for my lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer friends and neighbors.
Reverend Ed Heilman, will you bless the assembly?
Please be aware that if you would like to make a donation to Equality Toledo, we do have a jar there, because this work is something we do with our hearts, with our hands, and our pocketbooks. So for the blessing, now may the deep shared mystery within us bring peace and courage between us as we live for a just world among us.
If you'd like to sing one more time together, this is This Little Light of Mine. Please join us. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Once more. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Woo! Thank you for being here.
And that concludes the service. Go in peace. With pride.